All in all, you have gotten on this record, The Elephants of Mars, the best out of everybody.
Let's start with the amazing Kenny Aronoff on drums.
This is Kenny Aronoff at my studio, Uncommon Studios LA, and this is where I recorded Joe Satriani's newest and latest badass record, The Elephants of Mars.
Kenny is Kenny. What can we say about Kenny that hasn't been said about Kenny? Oh, a whole bunch, but I won't say it here.
The guy with just the biggest, fattest groove, the craziest drummer I think I've ever played with. I mean, in 2019 when we were doing the Experience Hendrix tour, it was just every night was an explosion of psychedelic drumming.
I actually saw Kenny play drums in Melbourne when I was, just going back 20 years or something. You know, we just knew him as this kind of legendary session touring drummer. He's like one of those guys that sort of was there making those grooves what they are when they first happened, and you know, he's brought that kind of classic riff groove to this thing.
I was thinking, boy, we've had a lot of time playing together in Chickenfoot, we've done other things together. I was just wondering, like, what's going to happen if he's allowed to go totally crazy?
I would just grab like 3-4 tracks, just go to his studio, and he would have rehearsed them the night before, written them down, and we'd just bang it away, and we'd go back, and Kenny was actually great for that. There's nothing you cannot say to Kenny that he will not do. I mean, literally, if you ask him to stand on one foot and, you know, do whatever, he will do it. It's absolutely amazing, the power, the strength, and how can I say that? And how pleasant it was to record with him. It was so much fun. And I think it translates.
It's really remarkable to watch him work, and it's really all in his hands. You know, he'll hit a drum and you run up and you hit it, and it doesn't sound anything like when he hit it, and you just go like, wow, it's a mystery. Let's talk about Brian Beller. Brian the Beast Beller.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Beller, and I am the bass player on Joe Satriani's new album, The Elephants of Mars.
There's no bass player that makes a scarier, bigger sound than Brian Beller. And of course he can play anything. He can count things and subdivide things that I'll never get to. So nothing stumps him. The deepest well of energy and good vibes, and of course his playing is just amazing. And I'm sorry that I've stolen from Steve Vai, but you know, that happens. We're always trading back and forth, so.
He blew my mind. It was just an incredible job he did. Tasteful, the right thing when it's needed.
We've played in such a huge variety of places live, and we did an album together prior to this, so we had a shorthand. We knew what we didn't have to discuss, and he knew that I was always interested in what he would do. So a lot of times he would send back bass performances, and they would have some new little riff here and there, and of course it was always better.
Just beautiful grooves and technique and everything, and taste.
All the songs have got these little bits that only Brian would come up with because of his sensitivity to listening to the composition and making sure that his part is unique to the song, but also supports the melody and the rhythm, and you know what Kenny and Ray and Eric are doing as well. Ray Thistlethwaite, you can say it. Come on, everybody.
My name's Ray Thistlethwaite. I'm a keyboard player, musician, and I'm very, very lucky to be playing keyboards on the legendary new album from Joe Satriani. The title of the album is, of course, The Elephants of Mars.
I think a lot of people in Joe's world might not know what Ray's capable of, Ray Thistlethwaite, but he is a monster. God, he's great.
I find myself on a website that's some sort of keyboard magazine, and they're doing an article on up-and-coming keyboard players. And reading about these different people, and then of course I see Ray Thistlethwaite, and I go, whoa, that's a cool name. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm thinking he plays with some Australian rock band, and they're like, you know, gold and platinum records, and they're a big deal. And I just go, I never heard of this guy. How come I don't know who he is? So I'm scrolling down, and then at the bottom of the article, they have videos from all the keyboard players that they were recommending, you know, people check out. And I see this one video, and it's Lewis Cole and Knower, and I go, oh, well, I know that band. But I don't see Ray, because the picture they have is this guy with really long hair and a beard and everything. And I'm looking in the the Lewis Cole video, and I see this guy with really short hair stuck in a corner in the landing of a stairway, but just like tearing it up on the keyboards, and I'm going, oh my God, that's that guy Ray. I gotta like talk to that guy. So I started to investigate, and it turns out his manager is in LA. So that's how that got started. I just sent him an email saying, your client Ray is just absolutely amazing. Would he ever think about going on tour and, you know, playing with me? And so anyway, one thing leads to another, and we shake hands over the Pacific Ocean, and then we wind up recording an album together before we actually meet.
I don't even know how to describe Ray in a way that won't make me sound silly, because the guy is incredible. It really, really is incredible. And for instance, on the New York Address song, 104th, East 104th Street, the restraint that he has playing his Rhodes part is beautiful. That's where you can see a real musician. The guy's like, oh, look at me now, I can do that solo. He didn't. He just played to the song, to Joe, to Kenny, to Brian, and an incredible job.
I haven't actually met Ray Thistlethwaite. So if you see him, say hello for me. But we've talked a lot, we've Skyped, we've FaceTimed, we did everything possible, and we've made a fantastic record together, so I'm so happy. Can't wait to get on stage with him. He plays guitar, he plays crazy keyboards, and his voice is unbelievable, so I'm really looking forward to developing some really great things on stage with him and using his talents to the full extent. Well, there's players on the album that are part of the band, and then there's Eric Caudieux, which I've called him Caudieux before, and every time I say it the different way, he calls me up and he says, how come you pronounce my name like that? And so I'm still confused. So when you interview Eric, have him pronounce his name properly for the world.
Hi, my name is Eric Caudieux. Oh, it's really easy, just, you know, as it's spelled, you know, Caudieux.
We just call him Eric. So of course Eric is like a mad genius. That's the way, I mean, and he's a wonderful writing partner, producing partner. For the Elements of Mars, I kind of forced him into being the producer, because I really thought he could really run with it further if I just took that one step back and didn't make it a requirement that he had to check everything out with me, you know, from a production point of view. So if he came up with these ideas, I'd seriously listen to him, just like if we were in a studio and it was, you know, Glenn Johns leaning over my shoulder saying, we should have glockenspiel right here, you know.
When you're working with really talented people and really nice people, and you kind of have experience in the game as well, that's the kind of process that you really love, and it really felt like that to me.
I think you have just 4 incredible musicians on this record at the top of their games. I really, really do.